Good evening. Ready to start our Bay St. Louis City Council meeting, November 6, 2018. We're going to ask you to turn all cell phones off, and we're going to begin with prayer, then the Pledge of Allegiance. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Now, Father, we thank you right now for our city. We thank you, Father, for the citizens of our city. Father, we thank you for your watchful eye and your good hand, leading, keeping, and guiding us. Father, we just ask for wisdom tonight to lead this meeting. Father, that we might make the right decisions on behalf of our city and our citizens. We ask this in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, once again, good evening, and we welcome you to our City Council meeting. This is November 6, 2018. Glad you came out tonight, and tonight we're going to begin with our guests. We have Senator Philip Moran here to speak and update us with on special sessions. Welcome, Senator.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone for being here tonight. It's been a busy day for everyone. A lot of voting taking place in our county and across the country. It's a good sign. Folks exercising their right to vote. Back in August, we had a special session, and I spoke with the governor, had an event back in July, and he told me, he said, Senator, we're going to have, he said, I'm calling a special session. He said, and get your lottery bill ready. He said, you're going to be the author of the bill. So I was very excited about that. We got up for a special session, and keeping something in mind, we've tried the lottery bill a few times. We tried to settle the BP money a few times, and that was one of the infrastructure bills that we did. But in a regular session, the parameters are just wide open, and anything can happen. But in a special session, when the governor makes that call and puts that call, and they put that call on your desk, there's a very tight set of parameters that you run in. And I'll explain to you in a few minutes why that was so important, or we probably more than likely would not have gotten these three bills passed. We were very lucky talking to a lot of the the senators and representatives that have been there for 20, 30 years. They tell me that never have they ever seen a special session that affected and represented the entire state that was as beneficial as this one that we had back in August. So when we started off that morning, we started out with Senate Bill 2001, the Mississippi Lottery Bill. And so we debated it for a couple hours in the Senate. We passed it, sent it on to the House, across the hall from the building. At the same time we were working on that bill, the House was working on House Bill number 1, which was the infrastructure bill, and I'll get to that one back in a few minutes. So once as with any bill, once the bill is passed on either end, then it crosses over. We take the infrastructure bill, they took our lottery bill, and then we began to discuss and debate them as well. So as most of you probably saw in the newspaper, that we came home for the weekend. We get back up Monday, and that Monday night, late, it was almost dark time, they had finished with it all day long. The lottery bill died on a vote. But luckily in Jackson, what we call the bill's either dead or it's dead. Well, luckily someone was able to, one of the House representatives, I think it was Representative Bennett or one of them, held the bill on a motion to reconsider, which meant that we would debate it, they would debate it the next morning. They did, and they passed it. So at that point, the lottery had passed both the Senate and the House, was on its way to the governor. The infrastructure bill came over to us, and we passed it in the Senate. So both bills had already been passed and was on their way to the governor. At that point, then the discussion was, do we go home two for two, or do we take a chance on the the BP settlement bill, which turned out to be, is it my speaker?
You're fine, you go ahead. Yeah.
So yes, we decided to go for it. We went for the BP lottery. And the reason that I was telling you about the parameters earlier was that in the last couple of years, negotiations broke down between the coast and the northern part of the state. They wanted far too much that we felt we could give up. We felt that we deserved 100% of it, but in negotiations, just like in this meeting or anywhere else, it's give and take. We knew we would not get 100%, but we knew we weren't going to walk away with that with more than 50%. With the governor's tight parameters, he put it in writing that it was a 75-25 split. So at that point, it was either voted yes or voted no, up or down. And those parameters played a big part in us being able to get that we haven't been able to do in the last couple of sessions because there were no parameters involved. So anyway, passed the Senate, sent it on over to the House. Things get a little wild in the House sometimes. In fact, a couple of the representatives from North Mississippi got up and amended the bill to provide an 80 ways. Now you get to think that's kind of absurd, and that would leave us with 10 million instead of 450 million out of there's 600 million there to provide. So the governor's call was, we get 450, the rest of the state can get 150, to make up 600. And you think, well, that's crazy. They owe about 500. So then they began to get a little reasoning back in a little order, and got the final vote, got passed through the House, so then it went to the governor's desk as well. So we wound up getting all three bills passed, three major pieces of legislation in 5 days. That's never been done before, not of that magnitude. So we're very proud of that. We felt like we were good stewards of the state's money to be able to get that done. Give you a little breakdown on the lottery now.
Senator, before you go further, what was it again? 450 to 150?
We get 450
Okay.
on the coast of the 600 million. Okay? 6 coastal counties, but the vast majority of it's going to the bottom. The
Okay.
rest of the state gets 150. Okay? And the way this will work is every year now, BP will put 40 million in the pot for the next 15, 20 years. They'll pay out. So each year we'll have 40 million to work with. Give us what? 25, 30 million, something like that. Anyway,
And that's just one pot. That's
now,
it.
there's big money in other pots that come directly to the coast owner.
Okay.
This was the only pot of money that would be divided up out of the legislature, so fit to do it. Now, the rest of it, shoreline restorations and much more things to come, will be on the coast only. And we don't have the discretion to take any of that, years or whatever. Break these bills down. Mississippi lottery bill, we feel like that the 5-person panel has been looked like for the governor. They're working on hiring executive director. At that point, they'll take RFPs from companies, and they will then get a company
Cindy, what is the age to be able to buy? Is it 18 or 21?
I think so too.
That's part of one of the things they look for. Huh?
Oh, I have some. So on the first go-round, could you explain to us why Hancock County was kind of excluded from getting some of the funding that the other counties got?
It seemed that way. And all of that took place in the House. We sent a clean bill over to the House. And some of the guys in Jackson County voted over there. Harrison County got 800,000, we got 500,000. So along with that, we just got the full bill. So when you look at it, we got 4.5, Harrison County got 800,000, and Jackson County got 6 million. So when you look at it from that perspective, because they kind of give them a reminder that they just give us the so, that's kind of what happened there. We're not gonna get left out next month.
Give it up for the next time. Good, good. And you mentioned something earlier about the sales tax that we get. How long does it take for us to get back the sales tax after we've paid into the state? How long is it gonna take for the state to give us back that money?
Whatever your normal rate was.
2 months?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
In other words, if I go up here and I buy something needed at, Popeyes, however long it takes for that $10 ticket, whatever.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was gonna be,
70 cents to come back to Bay St. Louis now, it's not how long it takes them for that, the audit.
right.
And, sometimes you try to gauge things, we grossly underestimated the sports rate. We have no idea where it would bring it. We were guessing. We said, okay, let's be very conservative with these numbers. Let's say 12 million the first year. The first month, we saw the papers at 9.8 million the first month. So this thing is going great.
Yeah.
Not free. No feeling, there's no like that. Okay? Which is a good thing because that's making more money back. Because that's like Hollywood and everybody else that pays money into the state, and then you come back and turn to the economy. So anyway, I'm taking up too much of your time.
Well, wait, one
No,
more
you
question,
haven't.
one more question. I know the governor has declared us a depressed zone, this area, and we have a tremendous opportunity to put Pearl River and Alpine. It's a building that's already there, you've already got infrastructure and everything there, so if you would consider that, we'd appreciate it, because we would love to have Bay St. Louis as a place where we could have workforce, welding and all that kind of stuff. We've already got the facility for it, so,
Absolutely, we certainly will do that.
okay, that's my ward.
There you go. Yeah, I don't blame you there, go ahead.
Would you go back over the, you said the county supervisor would get 607,000, City of Bay St. Louis 239,000 to come to our city, and Waveland's 243. Now, and this goes into the infrastructure, right?
You can use it for drainage, infrastructure, blacktop, build the road, maintain them. Well, trust me, I'm not gonna get into what you spend the money on, okay?
Okay.
I tell people all the time, $100 is good. No one tells me you spend the best of it. Just like Tyler's fund. The chairman came in with the house end of it, set a new rule with the city's, almost contacted the other day. One of your projects, you had some money left over, you wanted to move it to another project or something, you wanted to designate as another project. And now you have to go and get our approval. And I tell you all, go in there and write it up there. I appreciate the call. I have no problem with moving the money and using it on something else. I trust with the good spirits of it. My job is to get as much of it as I can.
Shannon, do we have to spend that money directly, or can we use that money to pay for a larger grant or something?
Some folks are using
Larger
it,
bond.
parlay in it, matching grants.
What about a bond, like if we just got a, say, $9 million bond, we use that 250 or whatever to pay for
That's a
that?
good question. I can't answer, but I would hope, I'm certain we can do that. Because to me, that's like a matching grant.
Right.
I personally don't have a problem with that at all. But I can't sit here tonight and say it's legal. I certainly don't.
Find out.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir, thank you.
And when does this supposed to start?
This will phase in as we send it through. It will phase in, we'll get here, and it gets absolutely right. And then at that point, as your sales
And this will not affect, this is infrastructure, this will not affect our road and bridge money of what we're getting right now.
Somebody's got to.
There's an old saying I tell them around the county. I've been working on this deal now for 5, 6 years. I said, you gotta be in it to win.
Yep.
So, anyway, you know, and it's been a long way, to bring a lot of money back into the state. That's what it's all about, is, the more money that we can come back to, especially on the local level, the less tax burden that puts on all of the citizens. Thank you all again.
All right.
Thank you, Senator Moore.
Senator, you all go back into session in January, right?
Back session, I think it's January 7th or 8th, something like
Okay,
that.
so-
We'll be there till the end of March. Local and privates kick in like the 1st of March.
Okay.
But get them to me earlier than that. You know, because I've learned this, and learned this with the doctor of this, the quicker you get in, the better your chances is to pass. Because the longer it gets closer to the end, tensions get a little higher. You know, so, we wanna do it as early as possible, everything's still fresh, and, we're all still working on it.
All right. Thank you, Senator. All right, next item on the agenda is Leo Palmieri Senior, Proclamation for Induction into the Maritime and Seafood Industry Museum Heritage Hall of Fame.
Whereas the city of Bay St. Louis strives to encourage greatness and achievement in our citizens. And whereas boat owners, captains, and commercial fishermen on the Mississippi Gulf Coast support the maritime industry and have made significant contributions to the coastal economy, they are deserving of special recognition. Whereas in appreciation for the contributions made to the
Congratulations, Maurice family. Would y'all like to say anything? Yes, sir.
First of all, I'd like to thank the mayor, you know, and I'd like to thank my dad, he already knows. So I work with you a lot. So, thank you, Dad.
Please, sir.
But I want to thank y'all. It means a lot to the family, you know, it means a lot to me.
Well, once again, congratulations.
Great
Yes, sir.
accomplishment.
Yeah, y'all want to take a picture with us?
Congratulations.
All right.
Congratulations, man. Thank you. Good seeing you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah. No problem. No problem. Good seeing you.
All right, we have a consent agenda. The next item, several things, motion to spread the Bay St. Louis cash balances dated November 2nd, 2018 on the minutes. Motion to approve the Bay St. Louis certification letter dated November 6, 2018. You should have all this in your packages. A motion to spread the Bay St. Louis payroll dated October 12, 2018 in the amount of $147,089.21 on the minutes. A motion to spread the Bay St. Louis revenue and expense report dated October the 31st, 2018 on the minutes. To approve the street closure for the crew of Nereid's Parade, February 24th, 2019 at 12 noon. A motion to spread the proof of publication for ordinance number 633-09-2018 on the minutes. A motion to spread the proof of publication for ordinance number 634-09-2018 on the minutes. Spread the the executed contract for Aaron Oil Waste Oil Pickup on the minutes. To spread the executed engagement letter between Wright, Ward, and Hatton and Gould and the City of Bay St. Louis for the 2017-2018 audit on the minutes. And to spread the executed RLI release and assignment for the auto bond claim on the minutes. This is a consent agenda and need a motion to approve.
Motion?
Motion by Councilman Smith, second by Councilman Seal with discussion.
Yeah. So we got a certification letter for the claims docket. So if we should remove something from the claims docket, what do we need to do with the certification letter? Do we just go ahead and approve the certification letter as dated?
Yes, because Sissy, didn't we go through this before? We figured out the certification letter is just certifying that that amount of money is there to pay the claim. So even if they were new,
Right.
you take one off, it's
Fine.
still, the certification
Yeah.
letter is still fine.
Yep.
As long as it's less and not more.
As long as,
Yes,
okay.
that's correct. That's
Simple.
correct.
Thank you.
Thank you for checking.
All right. Any more discussion? All right. All in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Councilman Knobloch is absent. All right. Sissy? Okay, we need, you want me to go ahead and do that first payroll, Mr. Buddy? All right, we need a motion to spread Bay St. Louis payroll dated October 12, 2018 in the amount of $1,408 on the minutes. Motion by Councilman Hoffman,
Second?
second by Councilman Smith. Any discussion? There's no discussion, vote the motion. Motion passes 5-0. Councilman Zimmerman is out the room. Councilman Avaloff is absent. All right, let's go to the docket. All right, the docket of claims, page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5.
Page 5. Vehicle maintenance. What building is that?
Which one?
The vehicle maintenance, the first line?
That's a shop over
Back here. Okay, that's what it is.
All right,
That's it.
that's it. Page 6.
What the Concepts answering service, is that,
That is the, let me see,
is that a normal bill
that's
for
the
that?
$18
No, it's 306.
concept. That's the, call out, after hours call out service
That's
where.
an annual fee?
No, that'll be monthly, and it was rather large, but it was large because of that huge water issue we had.
Okay, yeah, I've
On,
never seen it this high, and I was.
Right,
wondering-
it normally is not this high, but we had a large volume of calls due to the water break, the main break
Okay,
in front of those apartment complexes.
so charge per call then?
Charge per minute.
Per minute.
Per minute, and we had an extraordinary amount this time.
Okay.
Normally, it's not that much, it's
Well,
for after hours calls.
I just thought it was
Yeah,
unusually high, and I just didn't understand.
yes,
Thank you.
it was.
All right, page 7. Page 8. Page 9.
The, safe route for school, funding. Did we, you know, the school had, agreed to pay that funding. Have we contacted them on, getting funds from them? On the Carroll Avenue?
I believe they sent us a letter originally. That's been many years ago.
It has been. I just don't know if they might have paid us. I just,
No, they have not paid us. I understood that it was gonna be reimbursed at the end of the
Okay, project.
contract.
Okay.
But I'll have to revisit that letter, because it was like 2 superintendents ago or
it has
something.
been a while since we
Yeah,
did it, but
I
I
believe
just
Rebecca
didn't know where to
Wagner
fund, and
actually-
as we're starting to pay out, just didn't know how to,
okay.
you know,
I will revisit with them
That's
and
fine.
maybe call the office.
maybe the end of the project is the right way, but I
Okay.
just need to raise that back up to them.
So Councilman Seal, what you're saying is that, the, school board was gonna pay
The
this?
school board, yes, agreed to pay 35,000, I think, for the Carroll Avenue safe routes. Right.
Okay, so do we still have to pay this 10, or they were gonna reimburse us for this? Okay. Yeah, but that fund is shrinking.
Yeah. Between NDOT projects, it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14.
On 14,
Yeah.
Omni Technologies.
That server license.
Yeah, we sent $2,375 for. Now that we canceling service with them.
There was a PO that I think that there was a project the council had them do, a server update. I wanna say a month or 2 ago, y'all they'd come in here to give a proposal before we switched over. And that PO was still outstanding, so they did that work right before the new company came on board.
Yeah, but the server license, a server license is purchased with the machine, when the machine is put into service. So I'm kinda confused on why we would have to put another server license on there.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I understood it was that PO for the server
Contact.
upgrade work that y'all had asked to be done, but
It just says server license upgrade. It might just, should say server upgrade. Maybe the license is what got us confused, and I was gonna call yesterday, but work got in my way.
We did have to buy them, so we didn't.
okay, the $2,375, the wording says, project time to redo all VM server licensing on 2 City Hall servers and 2 Police Department servers. Labor to be performed after hours to ensure customer will experience minimal downtime. This quote is guaranteed price.
Yeah, that's virtual, VM stands for virtual machine.
VM, okay,
Yes, ma'am.
VM server.
Has all that been done and completed that?
Yes, that was completed.
I think so, yes, sir. I hope so.
This is an October billing for most of the monthly maintenance, and then it's a September billing for work performed, so we may end up having some work performed during the month of October as well, just labor.
Yeah, because I'm looking at page 15,
Mhm.
and that's where that data storage came in at 1447.29. And I think it was 830 gigs of information,
964 is what they've got here.
964. Okay, and that's the one we found out they were paying 70 cents per gig, and they were charging us 150.
$1.50.
Okay. So, I'm sorry? I think we have 800 and something, if I'm not mistaken, and really the majority of that's the police department. So, can we, Ms. Sissy, request that they revisit this total? Since we know that we've been charging 110% on this storage, ask them to resubmit that bill.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, that's just a suggestion.
We never did enter a contract on server or storage.
No.
We just requested they get storage, so.
We've been paying this rate for a
Unfortunately,
while.
it was fine until the police department got involved. You know, I did a spreadsheet and we was going along at $200 or $300 and, a couple $100 a month, and it went to $1,400 a month when we got all this investigative stuff.
Right.
And, but I don't, unfortunately, can't say we're taken advantage of, but, we never was in a contract with them, so we just asked them to store our data. Well, honestly, didn't tell them. We didn't know any better. And they just kind of.
What's the rate now? Right. What everybody know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of taken advantage of, I guess.
I watched Judge Judy today. You can't say that. So, to me.
We can say we didn't know any
to
better,
me-
maybe.
Yeah.
To me, we'll pay it.
All right,
We're done. Cut
Right.
ties.
Yeah.
Okay.
Learned a lesson.
I'm good.
Fortunately, it was only for a couple months that we got
Roll with it.
paid a high price.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody okay on page 14?
Yes, sir.
All right, page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Page 18. Page 19. Okay, we have a total docket of $328,276.26. Need a motion to approve. Motion by Councilman Seal,
Second.
second by Councilman DeSalvo. Any discussion? There's no discussion. Let's vote the motion. Motion carries 6-0. Again, Councilman Knobloch is absent. right, next item is a motion to approve the lowest and best bid quote for Lyle Machinery for the motor, due to location. Where in particular did this motor go?
Big tractor.
Big Traco, okay.
This includes labor and everything, Mary?
No, this is simply a part,
Just a simple part.
A
and
part,
then our mechanic will install it,
a big part.
a huge
Yeah.
part.
It's a motor's hydraulic pump,
Right.
hydraulic pump.
And normally repairs do not have to go to council for, an approval, but since this was such a large one and it was a complete motor, then the purchasing law does require us to go for council approval to approve the low quote.
Okay,
Both,
so we needed the motor, yeah. the whole
right,
motor.
we needed a
drive
hydraulic
motor.
motor,
Drive motor that turns the track.
drive motor, hydraulic
Okay.
drive motor.
So this was a Gulfport that we get instead of the one in Jackson.
Right, and they were exactly the same
Jackson
cost,
price.
but since we can go straight over there and get it, it's a lot easier.
But
Okay. All right.
approved.
All right, motion by Councilman Seal, second by Councilman Hoffman. There's no discussion, vote the motion. Motion passes 6-0. Then Councilman Knobloch is absent. All right, public forum. We have Cliff. Help me with that last name.
Travel Lake.
Yeah. You come on.
It's really gonna be on the P and Z,
Okay, so you want the next one.
Okay.
All right. All right. Now we're gonna go to the P and Z. All right, this first one was, tabled.
Right.
So we don't need to do nothing with that, right?
No.
All right. Let me just ask a question on that first one. Is that the, when it says corner of Third and, Washington,
Right.
is that, the one with, or the lady with all the dogs? Right across from the place that needs to be cleaned up. Okay, all right, okay. All right, okay, let me go to the second one. All right, Joel Doris, application for special use district, motion to, the applicant is asking to be allowed to conduct a recreational vehicle park, which will include an office and restrooms. Property in question is located at 3292 Washington Street, parcel 138B-0-46-226.000, part, Gidon Toomey Claim, 46-6-14. The property is on R1, single-family district. Anybody here? Yes, would you come forward?
George, state your name and address.
Yeah,
Joel Doris, 3292 Washington Street.
all right. I just want to ask, is there anybody else here that is for or against this particular project? You for? I guess you are.
Yes, you would be. You better be.
All right, any questions from the council? All right.
My only thing is, it says it on here is that they'll verify wetlands and uplands and everything like that.
Yes, sir,
Okay.
that's our next step.
As long as
and-
we're-
So, as part of the motion, I guess you've been given the zoning regulations on how you're supposed to build it, requirements.
Yes, sir.
As well.
Yes.
Also, part of the recommendation is, most districts, a major site plan review is required.
Mhm.
I would like this, does not explain that in a special use district, but I would like a major site plan review to be required on this project. For council, it just goes through the building department, all the public works, and also comes back to the council for us to approve final site plan.
Yes, sir.
I'll make the motion that with what Mr. CEO said that a site plan review be done,
Major site plan.
major site plan review.
Second.
All right, there's a motion by Councilman DeSalvo, second by Councilman Hoffman. Lisa, did you get all that in the motion? Okay. All right, if there's no more discussion, let's vote the motion. All right, motion passes 6-0. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Joe.
Thank you.
You too, Bishop.
All right, the next one is the Beachscape subdivision. So application, the applicant is modifying 2 parcels of land into 27 new parcels of land. Each newly created parcel will meet the requirements set forth for subdivision of property. The property in question is located at 928 South Beach Boulevard, parcel number 149-30-233.000, 4th Ward, Bay St. Louis, 206-I and J 206.5B, JI parcel number 149-0-30-234.000, 4th Ward, Bay St. Louis, 206.5D and 209K, Bay St. Louis. The property lies in 3 different zoning districts: R1, single family district, R2, two-family district, and R4, beachfront district. Is there anybody here that's representing this particular? Thank you, sir. All right. Let me ask this question. Anybody here for it or against it? Okay. All right. Come on, Mr. Cliff.
Good evening, gentlemen. Cliff Rabelais, 702 3rd Street. Some of you gentlemen were at the P&Z meeting, and I expressed my views on this, and basically said, you know, this is the 3rd go-round. Whoever is developing at this time, listen to what the folks had to say. They're putting in full-size lots in an area of town that has full-size lots. And I think some of you have heard me say before, you know, in that area of town, that's what we like: big lots, big houses. If you don't think we like them big, go look at the one they're building on South Beach right now.
Yeah.
But
It's true.
no variances. Mr. Kenichi, you know, I've talked to him. We've talked to Jim McPhail. The drainage is going to be good. The majority of the area that is wetlands is up in the R4 district next to the beach. This is what we had asked for, and that's what they're presenting. And I live right down the street from it, and I'm all for it. We're going to have another road come into 3rd Street. It'll break up that long stretch of woods that people get there and they think they're in the northeast corner of Hancock County and do 70 miles an hour. It'll break it up. That's going to help us. There's some concerns. Some neighbors, 26 houses. That ain't. That's not even going to be in traffic to speak of. So I am in support of it. They have already acknowledged the oak trees and the magnolia trees, and I think this is the kind of development we'd like to see in that area of town, because that's fitting with what the surrounding areas. I want to voice my support for it. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Cliff. Yes, sir. Did you want to say anything? You did what now? All right, good deal. All right. Ms. Kenichi, you need to say anything concerning it? All right. Council, y'all have any questions? All right, if there's no more discussion, need a motion. All right, there's a motion by Councilman Smith to follow the recommendation of P&Z and approve. Second by Councilman Hoffman. Like I said, no more discussion. Let's vote the motion. Motion carries 6-0. All right. All right, Mr. Kenichi. You had something, Mr. Bennett? All right. All right. Engineers report.
Yes, sir. Jason Kenichi. We have slightly revised report format. Hopefully it works out for everybody. We have the action items that we're going to request tonight first, and then we have all our update on all the projects after that. I'm not going to go through all those unless you have a specific question. We'll address it But the first item, the main thing that we're requesting is some action on the Gulf Region Planning Commission. They have awarded 3 grants to the city. This letter of award is in the package as well for the Bar Drive improvements, sidewalk improvements, the Washington Street pathway improvements, and the downtown connection plan. All 3 of those have been approved through the Gulf Region Planning Commission, and we are asking for authorization to begin the activation process. That word, that's right. We'll prepare the documents and work with the administration and the mayor to sign those documents for MDOT. These are all standard forms that they require on each project. The mayor is the city's acting LPA director or chief LPA official, and Dana is the LPA director for the city. And so there's some documents that she can sign, some documents that they require the mayor to sign. So we're asking for a motion to allow the mayor to sign those documents as required by MDOT.
For all 3 projects.
Yes, sir.
All right, we need a motion.
Make a motion.
All right, there's a motion by Councilman Hoffman, second by Councilman Seal. Any discussion?
Just, and I should know the answer to this, but the LPA training is a specific class you gotta go to be able to sign your documentation, right? And the mayor
Yes, sir.
and Dana's been to these classes.
Yes, sir. Every 2 years, you have to go get a renewed
Oh, I
certificate.
just wonder why I moved that. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Any more discussion?
All right, let's vote the motion. Motion passes 6-0.
Okay, thank you. We'll begin preparing those documents this week, get started on those projects. I'm just going to prepare you. It's about 2 or 3 month process to actually get them obligated and awarded, so we'll give you updates as we receive new information from MDOT from Gulf Region.
All right. Thank you, sir.
That's all I have, unless there are any questions from anybody on any of the other outstanding projects.
To get the county to help us out cleaning that ditch since our track goes down. We had dead stop until we get that ditch opened up to the highway so we can get in and video the remainder of that. We'd just like to see it proceed on instead of coming to a halt. Well, a few weeks while they're working on the track though.
And also, we had a payment out to Rocky's Plumbing of $4,000. The final payment?
Yes, sir. That's the final thing.
They're done with their work. We just need to finish off the groundwork and
Yes.
put it back to
Finish
where.
cleaning up and finish cleaning up
The
and,
beautification,
right,
put it back to where it was.
backfill and seed it and clean it up.
Do we have a time frame on that? I know we're waiting on the track for it.
I think
They just need to go back and do some extra back where the sand washes back in and get it, and come back and flush the lines out, and then dress everything up on top and everything. They've been hauling dirt over there, hadn't been by this week to see how much dirt's over there, but, and we wanna get that spread, and then also, when MDOT comes through cutting them lanes out, they're gonna take that dirt and top it, everything off with the good dirt.
All right.
Go ahead. Noticed there was a grant award letter for Harbor Pier 5. I didn't see it attached. What did we get awarded?
$375.
That's for
That's-
preliminary?
that's the FY19 Tylen's award.
So what we do
That's the
about it?
official grant award.
Yes, yeah.
If I didn't attach it, I'm
Well,
apologize.
I might have overlooked it. I just didn't see it, and I saw we had a grant award, and I just wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it in here either. I'll
That's-
forward it to you, but that
No,
was,
I didn't know what I didn't know if it was something different.
Yeah.
I missed something.
No, we
I
got
just-
the full amount that they.
Okay, that's fine. I
And that's
didn't see
Pier
it.
5, you
the
said?
Pier 5.
Okay.
There was, we are working with the mayor's office on a slight amendment to that, to the scope of work to include the parking area. That was something that was not in the original grant application, and they said, let's go ahead and amend the scope of work so that that would be an eligible cost.
Yeah,
That's
and
what,
we probably wanna put a workshop together to discuss that before, I mean, we got plenty of time. We don't have any funding coming, but before, we move forward with that, we probably wanna put a workshop together and discuss, that extra
How
part.
many slips,
It's gonna be 60, right at 60 slips. It's the biggest slips coming in, 60 or 65. It's the
65.
biggest slips, 40 foot on for the most part, which is supposedly what the need is to fill. We have a few of the smaller slips available, so they're looking at on the bigger end. We think it can bring in probably excess $100,000 to $125,000.
Even though Saturday, I mean, we have a lot of nice boats out there.
We do, and there's plenty more of the bigger ones wanting to come, we just don't have places to put them. So, and you know, when it comes down to it, that's equal to another 60, 65 floating hotel rooms down there, you know. So,
Very good. All right. Ms. Kenichi, you have on here, this project on Michael shooting the benchmark. When, you all are ready for that, ready for us to get started, if you all would maybe give us maybe a 2-week, leeway.
Notice? Okay.
we was hoping to have it as soon as we left the seminary.
Okay. But if you give us 2
That's
weeks,
got
we'll
us
be,
behind with a few
be right
things.
there, get it done, get it up, and, let y'all have it from there. Okay. All right, anything else from Mr. Kenichi? All right, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right. All right, council, new and old business, Councilman DeSalvo.
Me and the mayor went over most of it yesterday, just them roads back there we discussed yesterday, and behind Jack, see about, getting a backhoe or something, to try to clean that ditch out.
Hey, Jason, can you stick around for one more minute? I might have one question.
And, if you want an update on the 603 lights, you can give the update on that if you like, because that was one of the
Yeah,
questions.
603 lights, hopefully by the end of this week here, Mississippi Power will be back over there replacing 4 poles. That's, I'm not sure what 4 poles is, but it's where they have to go in and put a splice box on the ground to have enough wiring. So these 4 poles will take out light areas that's not lit. This is what's holding them out. We got the bases, we got the poles. We was waiting on bases and everything, what the holdup was on that. So hopefully they come in this week and we can get this finalized within the next couple of weeks.
And we have all of them lit up through there?
Should be lit, yes. Another, while we on lights, call from Mississippi Power today about the Bay Bridge. They still pushing that issue. New lights on it. It would probably run us up top about $340 a month to light the Bay Bridge. They getting out of the lighting business.
How much?
About $340 a month is the estimate from Mississippi Power. Bottom, couple options. Change them out to LEDs, which would be small LEDs, so he thinks he's probably looking about $250 a month on that to light the bottom. Also, he's gonna price out what Ocean Springs and Biloxi's doing on their bridge, having lights, which I don't know if we're gonna go that route now, but he can give us a price where we can do color lights on there and change color from time to time. He's just gonna come out with a price on that, go around. Harrison County has pretty much agreed to take their half, and we'll take our half of it, just wherever.
So Harrison County has agreed, so Hancock County has agreed to take as well.
Well, that's
what you said?
that's Harrison County. That's not the pass over there.
Well, I'm gonna say, so is the pass paying for their bridge, or is the Harrison County paying for their bridge?
That's not past city limits.
No, true.
That's what it is. And that's the reason Harrison County got it.
Trust me.
Yeah. So it's something, we start thinking they won't, if we agree to it, it won't be within a year. They'll give us a year to next budget season, plan and everything.
Are they gonna give us the bulbs, or
They're getting it all changed out by Mississippi Power the same as we did.
Yeah, I know I bought the pamphlet over the other day that I got in the mail. They have a program where for businesses, if you get basically one bulb, they'll give you 50 to change out to LEDs. No cost. So I was just wondering if the city could take advantage of that same.
I think we're passing that around.
So they're gonna change out, the state is gonna change everything out to LEDs.
They're gonna pay for everything to be changed out.
Before we assume the notes.
Before we do it.
They'll
they would have
retrofit it.
everything redone, and he thinks he can get them to pay the bottom one, to have them redone. He did state that he does not believe they can pay for the colored lights until he finds out the cost, but he does not believe. He thinks it'd be too much for them to absorb the whole cost.
So you're gonna have half the bridge is gonna be red, white, and blue, the other half's gonna be just white?
Well, that's something we
Yeah, I mean, right,
Right,
Harrison County
that's
does
something,
it.
When he comes up with the price, he'll pass to Harrison County and see what their interest is.
Yeah, I mean, right.
You know,
Yeah, we have to figure it out.
Right.
So will,
we can meet with Supervisor Ladner on every end and see, what his thoughts are.
Yes, sir, LED, the product program, one light to be created,
Tell you what, it's beautiful, the lights they got out there, I don't see why they gotta change it.
yeah,
It's a
so
looking bridge.
as part of our agreement with Mississippi Power, we're gonna have to pay them an extra fee to take the bridge, or they'll just pick those, I don't know how many lights are actually
No,
on
but
there.
I think NDOT paying for these lights.
I know, but once, for a maintenance plan,
Yeah,
right?
well-
So once we start paying, so if we just pay the electricity bill, is MDOT gonna keep the bulbs changed out?
Be
Or
on
is it gonna
those.
go back on us and we'll have to get
That's
Mississippi
what we
Power?
have to get, work out an agreement with.
Right, so we'll have to see if
And
it's,
that cost, we don't know what it would be. Right now, in our cost, we're paying for lights and everything.
Correct.
that's changed out. So I would think
Well,
it'd
we
be
just-
a whole.
we need to understand that cost as well.
We need to have everything total in there.
You know, I mean, has the state sent us a formal letter of termination? Or they said they'd like for us to do this?
They're getting prices together on everything, so they'll, when they do have it, they'll have it, just send out what the cost would be, projected cost on the light expenses and whatever else we decide to do.
If we decide to turn them off, then they'll just turn them off.
And that's what that
And it's a
plan
public
is. If we
safety
don't
issue.
take-
Well, it is a public safety issue, right? And the state, whoever's watching, is an issue.
The lights on the bottom, not,
No, not it. It's not on the bottom, the top is.
according to them, no.
Yeah.
And their plan is, what they're doing, they're getting rid of all of them.
Well, I know what their plan is, they're getting rid of
get
that
out
cost.
Bridge,
And they're putting it on the cities, which
Right.
we don't print money.
Yeah.
That's one
the
of the
frustrating
things you
part
can
about
see.
it.
Yes.
So we got the interstate up there, we got the
Yeah,
four corner
right.
road lights up there. So can we run radar on this half of Bay Bridge?
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe recoup a few dollars.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Take Dale's time.
Yeah.
Jason, that's gonna be a fully functioning red light until Waveland cutoff, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know, okay.
That's
Alright.
something else they've done, come in with that red light coming up there.
Yeah.
603 and Kill Cutoff Road.
Yeah, be fully good.
Thank God.
Yeah. Nah, I had the same thoughts Doug had today, and actually talked to one of the supervisors. I wish the supervisor would give us a little spiff to help, because 603 and all these lights is a corridor in the Hancock County, not just Bay St. Louis, and
That's correct.
And we gotta bear all the burden of fixing them, keeping them maintained, paying the bill every month, and like I say, for everybody's safety.
Give them a kick, we give them kick an extra $1,000, how about that?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
They can do it.
So now, is Harrison County, have they entered into any kind of agreement to take care of the other
They're
side?
same way, just like we are, just waiting on numbers and everything.
All right, so,
We will get with them.
so they'll probably have the other half, they'll probably have half of the bridge,
They will-
Ocean
we'll just
Springs
divide it
Bridge
down
too,
the
right?
middle. That's it, whatever amount of lights are, they take that for, we take that, whatever that falls on.
Okay. All right, Councilman Salvo,
I'm done.
you done?
I'm good. Yes, sir.
Councilman Zimmerman?
Mike, a couple of things that's lingering on it. We've been talking about Inverness ditch over by the railroad. We need to get it cut. And then there's two issues with ditches that we need to get finished to help all of that drainage work we did in wards 5 and 6, or 4 and 5, I'm sorry. Martinology's ditch, what we talked about, needs the big cutter to go in there and cut it from Sioux Street around to Washington. And the ditch behind the post office from the street there back around to the highway.
Yeah,
And it's
they
gonna
can
take.
get in there, and in between Turner and Bush Law, they have to walk that ditch and cut it back
I went and looked at that the other
up
day. I
to the
need,
back of the church property over there.
I need to
on
go
Bush
look
Law.
at something back there with you. I didn't wanna throw that one on you, cause there's a ditch that we need to create along the paved roadway to help that situation for that property owner down in the back. All that water's coming on them right now,
And
'cause there's
if
no
you
way.
follow
back.
that ditch where it goes on the backside of the post office, all
Yeah.
the way over to Longfellow, where it comes through Pennishares there.
Right, exactly. Major
That's
drainage.
2 8-foot culverts under that road,
Yeah.
bottled down to maybe a 2-foot ditch coming through there. So when we was over there yesterday, it's on their list to start.
Now, you
digging
talking about on the
over
other
there.
side of the highway,
On-
where bottleneck?
On Longfellow, on both
Okay.
sides of Longfellow where it comes on the road, it's 2 8-foot culverts there, but it's neck down to probably a 2-foot opening total. So 16 foot of the culvert, you probably have a 2 to 3 foot flow until it gets halfway up to the culvert.
Is that the area that the county, suggested that they try to get a grant to do some ditch improvements on? Is that upstream of that?
That's up to, back off Washington Street, back in that
Yeah,
area.
yeah.
That's where, this here, they think we can get to mostly. You know, you can reach it right there and get a lot of it dug out, but then I think we can get the right of way through there to go in and cut that ditch and see exactly where we're at. And then through Penny Sheriff back down through there.
Give me a call when you
They
got
will
some
go
time,
through
we'll
that.
ride, look at it.
We'll go look tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Is that connected with Project 28, Jason? What they're talking about through Penny Share? But I know we did that before. Was it
This
different?
would be everything coming pretty much off of Turner, Bush Log, all that area. Through there, coming underneath the
through there,
highway, on the
Longfellow,
backside,
which
coming back through.
goes back into, it's gonna cross Chapman, isn't it? And you go through Penny Share.
It goes out the back of Penny Shares, I think, into, what's the bayou coming off Washington Street, the small
Okay.
bridge there?
It's
I know
not
the bayou
Watts
you're
Bayou.
talking about, but I don't know the name of it.
What is that one, Jason?
Rottenbach?
You remember? But it's on that little bridge. This one comes into Little Bridge.
yeah, which-
Now,
Yeah.
further down Longfellow, on the side of, Scootermaker there, that ditch there comes in the backside and comes out, crosses Chapman and goes in that way over there.
Okay,
Just a few miles away
Off
from
the
that,
same.
that other
Right.
area.
Yeah.
okay. All right,
Closer to the Jordan.
Councilman Smith.
Yes, sir. Mr. Zimmerman went and checked, Jackie Hollowfield's.
That's what I was.
Is this the same? Okay, I just want to make sure that we're clear on that because she's having issues and she called.
And what they're doing in that area, they started pretty much along Subi, coming
Right.
all the way. They're gonna go take care of everything between the trail and the highway and Subi and Turner, get that done. Then they're gonna jump over in between Turner and Bush Log, get that done, go all the way to the city line or past if we need to open it up. And they'll start working out towards the highway coming through Bush Log and all that down in there, behind the post office and main drain and catching all that.
Okay,
So
great.
that's what the plan is for that. They're gonna stay over there till they finish that area.
All right, thank you
It's
very
probably
much.
another month or so out, I would think, at least, for them to dig all that.
Another thing I'd like to do is to publicly thank Ms. Sissy Gonzalez for her work on the DiNardo bond claim and the hours that she put in, and her due diligence has paid off for us, and I just want to publicly thank her for that.
Can she get a percentage, she said?
Oh, well,
A finder's fee?
well, let me turn the mic off. Thank you, Ms. Sissy.
Thank you.
That's all, sir.
That's it. Mr. Hoffman.
Sure. Mr. Janich, I received a phone call from one of the neighbors, so I just wanted to ask about it quick. I spoke with Don this morning about it a little bit, but that project behind Jenin off of Dunbar, 17 or so lots that are going in. You working on that?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Just some complaints about stagnant water and,
On the site itself?
on the site itself, a lot of mosquitoes, a lot of bad odors, I guess.
It's mostly on the back side, on Jennings Street side.
Right.
Where they
And
put
also
the pipes
getting a
in,
lot of-
just low,
Yeah.
holding water in there.
Lot
Where
of,
they cut the road down and it's,
Yeah.
Right, and they're getting a lot of, which probably is gonna happen when you clear land, but they're getting a lot of rodent infestation in those houses,
okay.
from that project going on, so.
Yeah, I'll address that with the contractor. Obviously, the rain's been really setting them
Absolutely.
behind. They're trying to get some
Absolutely.
roadways cut through, and that's why the drainage isn't working very well. They've got the boxes set, but then now they're working on the road, and it just won't tie in.
Gotcha.
So we'll get them to de-water that and clean it up.
Sounds good, thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's all I have.
Mr. Steele?
Mr. Mayor, I just sent you an email requesting that we go to the school board and get on their agenda to find out about, if we can, use them tennis courts before the nets and everything rots away.
That got brought up at breakfast the other, coffee with the superintendent the other day. Their feelings is, there's a system set up where you can go to the school to bring the information up there, and they allow you to use it. They would like to keep it like that. They're not interested in
They sent us a letter stating that,
Yeah.
so we can give it to all the
And,
people and
and
post it.
we went to address it, and she addressed it, you know, straight up with,
Could I give them keys or something for it? People,
yeah, we can get a letter, you know.
Let's get
for that.
something so we can get
And
the
what it
people
was is,
asking.
you know, it's nothing that can be patched. If something happens to it, it's gotta be completely redone. There's no way to have the security cameras, you know, that, in that area. Big cost to have for what they can do, but they just would rather not have it open to the public than close the facility. And we'll get a letter from them.
Yeah, write a letter so we can get to the people that pay the taxes, but have the courts that want to use it in full. But, after 2 years talking about it.
Yeah.
Grass cutting contract. Are we gonna get a grass cutting contract with Gulf Breeze?
We're working on that right now.
Draft of it that was circulated today. Just gotta tweak a couple of different, just make sure we have good enough descriptions and then send it over to y'all and hopefully have it on the agenda for the next meeting.
All right, so we're just paying grass cutting out of the grass cutting bucket or general fund. I thought general fund, but there's a line
For
item
them?
for grass cutting, yeah.
Only time we used them was 603 down in, you know, to finish full cruising.
Right.
And, yeah, we just took that out of the general fund.
So there's a line item in the budget for that,
Grass cutting.
getting the grass cutting. Okay. I couldn't remember, I thought we'd earmarked some money for that.
And, anything after that, we'll have contract in place for that. And
Uh-huh.
they charge just whatever their per cut was for,
Fine.
2,300, something like that.
Right, yeah, it wasn't much. Paylocity, are we using it like we're supposed to, clocking in, hotspots, everything? We spend a lot of money to have it, a better payroll system, and are we using it like we're supposed to be?
Right, we had put a purchase order out for Omni to install our tablets. They did not get to that before they were relieved, but the tablets are currently being installed. One has been installed at the fire department station number 1 by our new IT group, and so they're gonna get to that as they can. Hopefully this week they will. We told them that we needed it by this week. So we do have 4 more tablets to install.
Purchase order. Jason left, forgot. The sinkhole and Felicity is,
Yes, that's on the plan to go in, cut the middle out, hopefully next week.
well, we just need to get, it's just sinking, I mean.
Yeah, they're gonna go in and
Salt
cut it out,
cans.
add some material to it, pack it down, and come back with the hot patch. They got the hot patch, material in, so they'll
Hot
be,
patch would be that, they can do a hot patch on something that big,
that's what they say.
so we count it up.
You know, just to make sure it stops sinking instead of, you know, putting money, 'cause I guess the main, you know, it's all been cleared as far as leaks. and
Yeah,
all,
it's been scoped
you
and
know,
everything.
So, just, you know, just make sure everything's severed and everything, instead of trying to dig it all out and pack
Right.
it down. And, very cheap way, easy way to, you know, do it. On
Yep.
this end of Dunbar by Mississippi Power, they patch one of those, they'll go back and get the other one right there, do the same thing.
Okay.
Those don't seem like they've got any different, but that one does.
And the 2% food and beverage sales tax.
Yes,
I know Senator Moran talked about local and privates.
Yeah.
Where, are we getting any ground on that, or?
Waiting on some information come from the state on that to see exactly how much we collect on that broken down away from the grocery business and all that, what that part would be. We hope to have something by next meeting, hopefully maybe we sent to show them what to do, put it in a workshop if we need to, and, you know, get public input on it. Support.
That's it, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, could you please check and make sure we can hot patch, Cary Court?
Cary Court is on their list.
Thank you.
That one, yes.
Yep.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to follow up with BJ Pit Stop, that entrance and exit there. You said you put a call in the MDOT.
We have, and, talked to the person that's over this project, and they're working on trying to do something on that. You know, I rode through Waveland, Walmart's got 5 of them in the intersection.
Right.
You know, so all we asking for is one right past something, you know, but they looking at it, and then,
Okay.
talk to Castleberry also with MDOT, you know, if we need to go to him and all, and see
Okay.
what they do.
And you're still on top of
But
that?
I saw him today and talked to him.
Okay, good deal. All right. Jason left again. I wanted to ask him about the project, 28 out there.
Which one is that?
The one behind Bailey, taking it through.
Oh, with the county and all?
Yeah. Seemed like last time we talked, there was just one person holding up everything, and, would you just check with him on that?
I will.
Okay. All right, Mayor's report.
Want to see about getting some money transferred out of the road and bridge for street materials, you know, like we did last time. Mostly gonna be using 5 and 6 out there on the dirt roads, start building some of those roads up again. Just like to be able to move it from the road and bridge fund into the general fund and use when needed. We get pot to send out every time we use it. You know, I think he buys it by the 100 tons. Does that sound right? 100. I think he buys it by 100 tons. That's about $3,000 or $4,000, something like that. We can get him if need be to send out where it's going to, what streets it's covering and everything.
All right, so we're gonna need a motion to transfer 25,000 out from the road and bridge fund to the general fund. Any discussion on this, council?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah, but is that a budgeted item or is that a new item? Is that,
There's a motion by Councilman DeSalvo, there's a second by Councilman Smith, discussion by Councilman Hoffman.
What you got, Gene?
I was just asking if that was something we had budgeted for or if that's a new item for coming out of the road and bridge fund.
It'd be a new item coming out of the road and bridge fund.
So,
How's that fund doing right now?
Cash balance is $59,000.
so when we take 25 out, and leave us where about
30.
30?
In the first of the year, they'll start kicking back in. We should get about, I think we get about 280 from them this year budgeted.
Yes, about
Yeah.
two, yeah.
Put that in one big lump sum?
No, most of it be January, February.
Early in, all right.
And we won't use all this at one time. This will be stretched out, you know, because what they do is they'll work them roads and they'll get it brought to Rex and dropped off at the road and spread in, and they'll go work some more. It's not like we're gonna get $25,000 tomorrow.
Feel like I'm in a discotheque.
What we're gonna just continue putting rocks?
Yeah, and as this rain eats them up and all, and just steadily building some of
So
those bases.
we really need drainage.
Well, out there, I mean, you know, drainage is gonna be hard to come by in some places. High tide hurts more than anything, you know, but yeah.
Well, it's just something else
We got a couple of drainage
When are we
projects.
supposed to look at this bond, for citywide drainage?
We do, we need to look at that. I'd like to start looking at it in the next couple of months and try maybe, you know, start working something in. I think we do have a grant that Jason applied for. We got Senator Wicker's office, Senator Palazzo, and Senator Smith's office, all backed it. It's a 5 point something million, five in that area.
Do we need to do a
For road
workshop
and
on
drainage.
that, maybe in the next couple of months?
We need to see
where we're at?
this grant's gonna be out in December, so we'll know by the first of the year, but still, we need to start putting some things together. One thing we wanna look at, do we need to combine a road bond in with the drainage bond? You know, last time we went 20 years on the road, mostly road bond. We'd like to do it separate and possibly do it for a 10-year term. 20 years, a long time for asphalt to hold up, you know, so we'd rather have it paid off if possible before it's gone. So, wanna look at, you know, maybe separating a little bit and do the bonds for both, but we wanna pursue both of them, that's, you know, while we're doing it. Cause like you said, the drainage in those areas need to be done also.
Yeah, it goes
You know, we
hand in
got a
hand as
couple-
far as longevity goes.
A call on, Gulf in Mississippi, does that sound right, John?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, about some problems over there on drainage on that corner over there and everything, you know, so we'll get somebody looking at that also. But, we need to do a lot of drainage and start with our main drainage and everything, we can get the funding for it.
Yeah.
And Reverend Reed, if you get to the point that you want to have a workshop on it, I can get my bond team in too to kind of, I know 5 of you have never gone through this process before, so it's a whole new world. So I've got some folks that can come in, including myself, and kind of just talk you through the process and what you have to do and what the steps are. And just, I do think that putting it off to the first of the year is a good idea for the sole fact that November and December is kind of crazy in the bond world. So you'll do yourself more justice if you push it off and just plan that to kind of hit the ground running come January.
Yeah, we want to put together, have our list, I think we got a pretty good list of drainage projects. You know, it wouldn't be probably 100%, but we do have, Jason's got a pretty good thing. Also with that, the county's getting ready to do a countywide drainage for the entire county. Cities, everybody, I think it costs about $300,000. They flipping the bill for us, so they're gonna have an extensive drainage plan for the cities as well. That's gonna be huge, compare that to what we have now, you know. I think, what was it? Y'all, Neil Schaefer, wasn't it? You know, the one from him, Buddy, that he did after the storm sometime. So this would be a good thing to compare to what we already have and what Jason's put together also for the drainage. But, I think they're getting ready to get started on that pretty soon.
Okay.
But yes, I think we need to start putting the streets together and get Jason, I think he's got most of the information to make sure we get the areas on the pavement that needs to be done. Want to look at also, I know they come in and do a little work in Spanish Acres, something we might want to look at. Do we want to piggyback on that right now and try to knock out that whole area while it's being done instead of doing patchwork, you know, on a few little side streets in there, and then come back and later on do some more work, try to maybe possibly get it all done now, and that's an area we don't have to worry about again, you know. So it's some things to think about, you know. Hopefully we'll have some more information next meeting on when the county plans on doing their part of it, and also when they're gonna get started on the drainage on their contract.
I wanted to ask, Mr. Mayor, about getting in, since you mentioned Spanish Acres, you know, where they have those turnabouts. If we could just get rid of the center aisle and just completely blacktop the whole area and just get rid of that.
I see no reason we couldn't.
Because a lot of people have boats, and it makes it very difficult for them to get in and out of that area.
Yeah, the buses, I know the buses go to the very end.
Exactly.
You can do that one, and it's.
Right. If we could just get rid of those center aisles and just completely blacktop that area and make it a good turn.
Yeah, that's something we can look at. I don't see most subdivisions don't have that, so.
Right.
I don't know why that one, except for greenery maybe in the middle of the road.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just not necessary.
Yeah, let's look at that, put that on the list.
Yeah.
Right.
And just as FYI, the mayor is 100% correct about go ahead and start getting your list togethers of what you want to do. Because if you're going to issue a bond, the first question that's going to be asked is how much do you want to issue it for? Because the first thing you'd have to do is pass an intent resolution, which you would put a number in that intent resolution. You don't have to actually issue the full amount that's in that resolution, but you could never, you couldn't issue over what was in your intent resolution. So it's kind of your first step, sit down, dream big, think of everything that you want to do, and then that's when my team comes in to try to help you figure out how to do it.
So we'll make a Christmas list, huh?
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, but the motion, yeah.
All right, there's a motion on the floor to transfer $25,000 from the Road and Bridge Fund to the general fund by Councilman DeSalvo, second by Councilman Smith. If there's any more discussion, let's vote the motion. Motion passes 6-0.
But I would like to ask, and we can discuss further at the next meeting. You know, tonight we got, what was it, 8,000, 9,000 for that drive motor and all that. We'd like to be able to purchase that without council approval. It's been almost 3 weeks, you know, I guess we could call it a special meeting if we really want it, but
Purchase what, man?
like this drive motor, unable to purchase it because of the limits we have at the 5,000 range. We would like to up that range on those limits.
Right, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
Especially when you wanna get purchases in the $8,000 and $10,000 range, that you should be able to have that kind of authority to be able to do that rather than having the council.
Yeah, and
Having
I
to go
think
through.
Sissy's looked into that. Huh?
It is a statute thing, however, that authority can be delegated.
Yeah.
So that, which you frequently refer to as your quote range, 5 to 50,000, you can give somebody the authority, such as the mayor, the authority to make purchases up to $50,000, and then anything above 50 is when, it will become, or, I mean, you don't have to go up to 50. If you wanted to do
Set
25 or
limits,
whatever, you could. Yeah, and then, but all the documentation process is the same. So if you go to, whatever their files, they keep all the quotes, they have everything. And you generally see that in, your bigger cities, your counties, because, I mean, let's face it, these days, $5,000 is nothing.
You're right.
And so it can really slow down the production. So most of the entities that I work with have some sort of authority delegated that's higher than the $5,000 threshold.
Yeah, so, Mrs. E, could you draw something up for us? And we'll maybe look at that next meeting?
Yeah, just draw it up and let us look at it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Heather.
No. Yeah, sure. And Sissy and I can work together we need to look to see if there's anything y'all passed in the past. Lisa, I'd ask you to check the minutes, just to see if there's anything we need to overturn, reword, or whatever. But, all that is a simple policy, so we can get that for you.
Thank you. Got it.
What authority, how high would you like to go up?
Don't go too high.
Don't go too high.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what.
You know, that truck last time, but that's a repair we sent out, that was covered, but it's just something like this, or one of them motors on the, well, I'll tell you another issue we had, I think it was the parts we ordered for our taps and everything, wasn't it, 11,000 we had to have approved? This was, yeah, this was inventory we was trying to build, and the money's available for us to do it. I mean, we pretty much resell it, get our money back, but it had to be approved, but we had to special order 4 or 5 of these meters in, because people's held up getting them put in, instead of getting our big batch of supplies in. It was held up for a few weeks getting in, and they just got further behind, because they ran out of meters.
So you think 15 would be good?
Go 10.
Yeah.
Go 10. Let us look at that 10.
What do you think, Doug?
I'm good with 15. I mean,
What about you, Buddy?
I mean, it's really something new we implementing, so I don't know if we really even had this in place before.
That's true, an air conditioner unit can go out, and that's gonna cost $5,000 right there?
Well, I mean, we meet every 2 weeks, and if they need it, like now,
Always call a special meeting.
yeah, we can call a special meeting.
So what you do today, don't mean you're gonna same people making the same rules in 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So you always caution yourself on today is today and tomorrow is a new day. So you don't want people running around rogue.
And I could probably write that mayor specific if,
No, I mean, it don't have to be, but
Yeah.
you give away the farm and the next person goes out and sells it.
Yeah.
So just write us up
Once
something.
you give it away, it's hard to get back.
Exactly.
So, y'all rather 10,000 then?
I'm good with 15.
I mean, yeah, look, 10's good, there's very few things, if it's a repair, we can send it out to get it anyway.
Councilman Seal,
I
this
can't hear
is
you,
this
Mike.
not the Price is Right.
Let's make a deal, huh?
Let's make a deal.
Paul's monolithic.
Yeah.
Mike, you have anything else?
What was that,
No, that
Mayor?
was it, appreciate it,
All right,
thanks.
all right. Ms. Heather, attorney's report?
grass cutting we already talked about, and the only other issue that I wanted to just get some feedback from you guys from was the tourism lease. I did definitely look into, confirm that they don't have a lease, they've never had a lease, they've been in there since 2007.
What was this again?
The Hancock County Tourism, or the West Coast Tourism, or
Yes.
whatever their name is. So, I guess just some guidance from you all as to what you want in your lease. Terms, length,
I think it needs to mirror what we've already got with the museum. I mean, we've got,
Alice Mosley?
we can't give one and not the other.
Well, yeah, but they're two functions.
Yeah, they're they're
different
completely
functions.
different
And I agree,
functions.
I struggle with that too, Larry, how do we, Mr. Smith, how do we do that, right? Because
Right.
it's really two different functions of what they're doing, one's promotional, one's a museum, it's a private function, right?
Right.
So, yeah, how do we meld that to one? You know, tourism provides a resource for basically Louis and Hancock County. The Alice Mosley Museum is a specific 501c3 that does a specific task for a specific group or person or individuals.
Right.
Like a museum. It's a private thing versus tourism is a public, not a public entity, but, yeah, how do you?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You pigeonhole because they, you know, if you look at their financials, they just cut hours and everything because they've lost funding.
Right.
So if you shoe them and say, okay, you're gonna pay $10,000 a year for the building and $500 a month for electricity, and then quickly they're out of business.
Yeah.
So they're looking
And
for more funding from us, right?
Yeah,
So
because that's what they're considering right now. Part of your contribution to them is the, your lease and your lease rate and your utility donation. So that's what they're looking at, that kind of as a part of what the city is giving to help fund them. And, yes.
Oh, good.
$1,000.
Yeah, Waveland's giving them $1,000 a year.
Yeah.
I think the county gives them 25.
And our 25
Silver
goes to
Slipper.
cruising.
Right.
More of a bass
She
pro.
turns 25 in a pretty good bit with grants,
Yep.
and that's how they survive on grants.
So what we do, one thing that, kind of a pet peeve, but the hours of operation needs to be, the bathrooms need to be open. Whether they have to put a dang security guard or whoever has the function has to say, okay, you give me a $200 deposit. Those public bathrooms need to be open for public events at the depot. How we do it, you know, if we make them rent portlets, okay, you're gonna rent portlets for $150, then you're gonna use the bathrooms for $150 and sign a bond or something. But it's frustrating when you go down there and you got this building that's locked up. You
And,
can't get in.
and from talking to her today, I think one issue she said is staffing, is just funding for staff. And the second one is, she said, look, it's an old building. The utilities just aren't meant to have all these people. So I don't know if something's happened bad in the past with toilets getting clogged up or something like that, but I think that was her concern there. I don't think I've ever been in that bathroom, so I don't know. Okay.
But I think that's needs to be part of it. And like I said, the people that use the area can choose or not choose to. I mean, if you got to pay for 2 portlets, I don't know what's portlet, $35 a piece, whatever. You get 2 or 3 of them, that's, you know, $100 before you know it.
Right.
So I would like to see the bathrooms utilized, or that building utilized their functions somehow. And it could be incumbent upon the people that's putting on the function as part of the deposit or, you know, funds.
I guess her thing is also with staffing, you know, things that go on 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, you know, they pay for her staffing to be there. And I don't think we can get, open it up with that museum down there also. Or hire security guard to watch, you know, I don't know what the answer is, but, you know, we'll come up with something and we can kick it around.
Well, if they have a public event, if we do open it, I think, the ones that's having that event need to, have security there to watch, you know,
They're gonna have to.
yeah.
Are the bathrooms separated away from the museum, or is it all?
They get buses.
Because see, that's my only yeah, so that's my only concern, is that if you do that, then somebody goes in there and messes somebody up, then it's the city that's allowed that permit, so it could fall back on you all if any of their property gets messed up.
Well, that's why I
So
think they need security, whoever's hosting that event, need that security to keep them out of the rest of the part of the building if we open it up.
Yeah.
And put the responsibility back on them.
Either that or they get forced.
Yeah, at least give them an option.
There's something also, brought up, do we wanna charge the big event access. Sometimes they hook up into the power and everything and runs the bill up 2 or 3 days back there. And I don't know.
Like a venue fee for everything else.
Ms. Heather, how soon do you need to put this together?
Well, they've been there since 2007, and we haven't had a lease, so.
Moving right along.
Yeah,
Did you want us to?
And we're in a big hurry.
in a big
Do
hurry.
you want us to give you some suggestions individually, to write up some things and?
Yeah, that's fine. Give me a call,
email.
send me an email, you know, whatever. Just brainstorm it. I think
Okay.
got the ball rolling, talking to Ms. Mernon. I kind of understand the background and know that there's nothing there and how they operate. Nothing there meaning nothing in the minutes that's ever been approved. So
Okay,
we'll get it.
all right.
Ms. Tilly, did someone come look at this PA system? Well, whatever card we're tapping on, can we change it? Is it the card, the drive module we keep banging on, you know, we tap on it, that clears it, right? Has they changed that piece out?
We need to probably look at pricing
Or
a
just get a new
digital
one,
system instead
right?
of an analog system.
Yeah, everything's digital now. This stuff is like,
Hitting something.
And it stopped. When he found the cords underneath where it was messing up, it stopped it for quite some time, and now it's starting again, so it's just a matter of locating.
Can we have him locate? Because I was in planning and zoning meeting, the dang gum thing is,
Yeah.
it's very
she told me.
unprofessional.
Yeah, she told me.
Yes. So, do
Yeah.
we have Jay on a retainer, or do we have someone that's,
I just call him when he comes in, but it has to happen while he's here, and he
well,
has
it's
to
been happening
isolate it.
every meeting.
I know.
Every time it's been turned on, it's been happening, so,
Yeah, well, the problem is isolating the issue.
well, I know, but I understand that, but,
Might have to get some people in here to come pretend to have a meeting and start leaving on our own.
yep.
Yeah,
We need to-
it's basically wiggling stuff and just trying to find where the actual problem is.
all right, thank you.
Yeah, just bring him into to the next meeting. Bring him into the next meeting. And let him,
right.
well, he can hear what's going on, and then he can fiddle with it after we get out.
Wait, I think Doug, turn your mic off.
Unplugging it, plugging it back in. When I turn it off, it started buzzing again.
Yeah, he can, it'll happen, but it's isolating wherever it's coming from.
Okay.
And it's very, I mean, it's all this stuff.
It needs to be replaced. It needs to be replaced.
Yeah, it's just.
Oh, my God. No, you didn't. You did not go there. No. Lord have mercy. Have mercy.
All right.
Yeah, moving on.
Ms. Heather, you have any more?
No, with that, I'm done.
All right, there's no public forum. So we need this closed executive session tonight. So, we need a motion to go into closed session to determine the need for executive session. Motion by Councilman Seal,
Second.
second by Councilman Smith. Now, we need a motion, okay, what's the need?
Did you vote?
You vote that much.
Yeah, let's vote that motion. Motion passes 6-0. Now, yeah, meeting's closed. Thank you all so much. Now we need a motion to go into executive session to discuss the pending litigation for a civil service appeal regarding Officer Jeff Hendricks. Motion by Councilman Seal, second by Councilman